errors and the size of the kicker, as we're talking earlier, we're roughly $1 billion above the close of session, or more than $1 billion above the close of session altogether. That's resulting in a $724 million projected personal income tax kicker. That's equal to about 7.8% of liability when it comes to filling out the tax returns here in a couple of years. While $724 million is the second largest dollar amount in our office's forecast errors historically, when you look back over the 30, 40 years of our office's performance, a kicker of 7.8% is right at the middle point, right? We've given half of our kickers have been larger than that as a percentage basis, and half of them have been smaller than that. So it's roughly in line with historical performance given typical forecast errors over the business cycle. That doesn't mean it's not a big deal. It doesn't mean it's not a large number. $700 million is a big number. There's no question. In the past, we've given out proportionately larger ones at the same time.
What this chart means by sweet spot are the rare times when revenue came in higher than expected at the close of session, but was still below this 2% threshold. It's a rare occurrence to get right in there.
And then a quick update on the distributions. It's important to point out that we pay the kicker out in the same way we take the money in. Those with a higher, it's paid out proportionately. That 7.8%, every taxpayer will be able to take that based on their previous year's liability. So that means people with higher incomes and higher tax liabilities get a larger dollar amount in terms of their kicker, even though it's the same proportionate amount. And these numbers have gone up for the median and the average. They've gone up about $10 per taxpayer relative to last forecast, given we're now $50–60 million above the previous forecast when it comes to the general fund outlook.
So I always like to end with the good news story, which are Oregon's reserves. That we've really never had significant reserves ever before, but the legislature wisely put in some automatic deposit mechanisms a decade ago now, and with 9 years worth of economic expansion, these things have really started to bear fruit. So when you include our large ending balance, now we're looking at expecting to end the biennium with $2.5 billion in reserves, which is 12% of our two-year budget, which is quite a good chunk. Not enough to erase the pain of a recession by any means, but a whole lot more than we've ever had before in terms of resources to help smooth the public services through a potential downturn. So while the economic outlook is becoming more and more uncertain, at least we have this to fall back on, which has never been the case in the past, which should help policymakers navigate the next downturn.